been trying to get this job for about 6 months now. And they finally, ooh, my ear is big, y'all. So they finally called me about the job, and I did the interview, and she hired me right after that. And I so happy because I wanted this job so bad. And then my background check comes back and it says, fail. And I'm like, what the frick? How do I fail a background check? Because my background is clean. I got pulled over March 2019 for driving under a suspended license. I didn't know I had a suspended license. So he was like, just go to court and handle it. You'll be fine. So I was like, all right. Then I found out my license was suspended. So I paid the ticket the next day. I had my license suspended in Texas. So I had paid the ticket, and then so my license was reinstated. And then it was just like, just go to court and you'll be fine. So I was like, okay. Well, court was on May 30th, 2019. And unfortunately, on May 30th, 2019, my brother passed away from cancer. So on May 30th, 2019, I was in a closet screaming and dying because my brother died, you know what I mean? It's been a long time, so I'm kind of laughing about it, but it's not funny. But yeah, so I didn't go to court because of that, and I totally didn't know about it until 2021. And then I turned myself in, and I did four fucking hours of hard labor in the county prison. And you know, I made it out barely alive. Okay, I barely made it out alive. Now I gotta go back to prison. So now I'm in Maryland. I got me a little hotel, and I gotta turn myself into the feds, and all of this over a traffic ticket and I didn't even know I had. But seriously, I have to turn myself into jail twice because I didn't go to court over a traffic ticket, and Maryland is still remembering this, and I'm like, Maryland, what the fuck? So I had sent them emails, and not emails, I had wrote a letter asking the judge to rescind the warrant, telling her, like, listen, I'm going through a hard time, and my brother passed, and I'm sad, and I'm in Atlanta. I don't even live in Maryland anymore, and I'm sick. I don't have a car. I'm broke. I'm poor. Like, everything that happened to me. Do you know Maryland said, we don't give a you gonna figure out how to afford an attorney, or you gonna bring your black red ass back to jail and do this time? So I'm pretty sure they're gonna make me spend a night. I hope they don't make me spend a night in no fucking jail because of this warrant. But I'm prepared for it. But I'm not prepared for it. This pushed me to want to be a lawyer, even though I'm in school to be a doctor. It's just like my other personality is like, yo, we should just study law, because this is some bullshit. And the fact that the judge didn't care, that, you know, it's just the judge didn't care. Of course the judge didn't care, but there should be something that should be, you know, there should be something. And I don't know what that something is. I don't know what that something looks like, but I just can't believe that I have to turn myself in and go to jail, get fingerprinted, get searched, and do the whole mugshot thing again twice because of failure to appear to a traffic court. And I can't get a job and I can't get an apartment because of a traffic. And it wasn't even like I was in an accident or anything. The cop just pulled behind me because they randomly search people. And it was like, oh, I don't even know why he pulled me over, so I can argue that was a lawful pullover because he pulled me over asking my ID, and I wasn't trained to know that I should ask him what was the reason you pulled me over, because there was no reason. I was doing a speed limit, nothing. There was no reason for him to pull me over. He pulled me over without justice, without a cause. And then he asked me for my license, and I gave it to him because I was uneducated. And then he ran it. Had he told me why he pulled me over, then I could have dealt with that. But I didn't have to give him my license. You do, but you don't. You really don't, but you do. But, so yeah, that's why I want to study the law, so that way that really don't, but you do can be, if for sure this is how it goes, because you do not have to give it to him. However, if you do not know the law correctly, you do have to give it to him. don't know. So I'm going on my walk, and I just realized that I never finished the story about me getting locked up on Friday. It's Monday, so it's been a few days, and now I'm finally ready to tell my horror story about what happened to me over the weekend. Now, number one, I got out Friday night. However, I got out Friday afternoon. However, I was supposed to be getting out now. So that was a hard pill to swallow. Y'all gonna have to ignore my filter, 'cause y'all know I'm wearing one. Anyways, so I turned myself in, and the ladies just are like, oh, baby girl, we gonna have to keep you open tonight. And I'm like, I fucking figured that was gonna happen. And I was like, listen, I can do the time. It's the weekend. I can do the weekend. I said, but there's a couple problems. I was like, I have seizures and I have celiac disease, which I don't. I have gluten sensitivity, which is a derivative of celiac disease, which is Crohn's. However, I do not have full Crohn's, but I have baby Crohn's. I have Crohn's cousins. So anyways, I was just like, I have Crohn's, I have seizures, and I'm from Georgia. I said I came up here for 2 days just to come handle this. I was like, so y'all gonna keep me over the weekend, and that's cool. I said, but come Monday morning when y'all release me, I said there's no one to call. I said there's no Uber, there's no Lyft, there's no hotel. I said there's only me trying to figure out how I can get back to Georgia. I know you're just a cop, but this is all I have. And then so they get the nurse to come talk to me, and the nurse is like, you taking your medicine? I'm like, nope. She's like, why are you not taking your medicine for your seizures? And I was like, for epilepsy. I said, because I know how to control it. She said, how do you control it? I said, by not being around people. I said, so you might want to put me in isolation. She said, we are. Yes, you will. So at this point, I started crying. Let me tell y'all why I started crying. I started crying because I came at lunchtime. So they was handing out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and everybody was like, oh, you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? The fuck? No, I do not. Why are you guys so hyped over these jail peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? So they was like, are you sure? Because we're not going to feed you till dinner time, and you're going to be here over the weekend. I was just like, and I'm not going to eat over the weekend. So the nurse is just like, you know you can't do that. I said, you know I have fucking Crohn's. I said, I can't eat any of this. I'm not about to eat this food. This is not about to happen. And then she's just like, you're going to have to eat. I'm like, yo, this not going to happen. Like, I'm not going to be able to eat. And then so I was like, can I just get some water? I knew it was going to be faucet water. I was not expecting a fucking Fiji, okay? However, I keep telling you I can't go to jail because I'm bougie. So they give me water out of the little play cups that you give your kids. And then give me the water, and I took a sip of whatever this concoction was in this water, and then my stomach went bloop, 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 and then my IBS kicked in, and now I'm in pain, and I just had a sip of water. So I'm telling myself, I'm like, okay, you know, this is probably hurting you, but you're definitely stressed, so you're going to make this worse. You have to calm down. You can't do all of that. And then you're like definitely in jail, so you can't really cry. So I was crying, but I wasn't crying. But you know, like the tears was rolling down my face, and it was like, if you want to talk to us, you know, we're here. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to go home. So she was like, I feel you. I'm going to do all that I can. I promise. So at this point, the lady cop, my apologies, she's just like, let me see what I can do. So she go talk to a male cop, and then the male cop was just like, look, you have 4 failure to appears. And I'm like, no, I don't. He said, I just saw your record. I said, I know about 2. I said, this is my second time here. I said, the first one I didn't do. This is the second one. So I said, so I should be on my 3rd strike. He said, you're on your 4th strike. I'm like, damn. He said, I'm going to see what I can do. He was like, but you supposed to see Judge Watkins, and Judge Watkins don't play with failure appears. And I'm like, is that the lady who I've been writing to? Because I've been writing trying to get out of this situation for over 1.5 years now. It's been longer than that, but the last letter I wrote was 1 year ago. So he's just like, I'm going to see what I can do. So I get there at 12 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, I am chained up and on the way to see the judge. Let's talk about me being in chains. So I'm sitting in the holding. They had like the holding little chairs with the handcuffs. Y'all who been in prison or jail before, y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm handcuffed. And it's so fucking rude to have me handcuffed over a traffic violation. But I mean, so they have the prisoners coming out, the inmates coming out, so that way they can go to court. So they're chaining them up, and they're ankle chaining them and wrist chaining them and chaining them. And I'm like, dang, that's so intrusive. And then so the guy comes out and he's like, look, you got to get Townsend, she's going to court, we're able to take her to see the judge. Now, thank you so much for getting Townsend to see the judge, because Townsend definitely wanted to see the judge. And I was in there not even a full hour before they was able to get me to see the judge. So I really appreciate Charles County Sheriff Department for what you guys did. Y'all helped me down, because I definitely didn't belong there. They can all see like, this girl don't belong here. But anyways, so the guy who was chaining everybody, the guy who he went to the officer one, went to the guy who was chaining everyone, and he's just like, get Townsend ready to go to court. And then so the guy was just like, he was putting chains on everybody, and then one criminal was just like, he was just like, why you gotta chain my ankles like that? And the guy was like, cause you're a felon. So he come to me and he telling me to do something. I'm like, huh? And then this other guy's like, be easy on her, she clearly never been here before. I was all like, yeah, I'm not a prisoner. And then he was just like, but you're a criminal. Now, I wanted to tell him, no, the fuck I'm not, but I'm not fucking dumb enough to argue with the cop there. So I just looked at him. And then so he's about to chain first of all, they put chains around my wrist, and then they put the little lock around the handcuffs, which was super degrading. That really, really got to me. That was so degrading. And then what had happened? They put the chain around my waist to handcuff me like this. That was not necessary. I'm here on a traffic violation. However, I understand the protocol. Everybody's treated the same. I'm not expecting to be treated different. I'm just saying how I feel, what I'm going through. I'm not saying anything they were doing was wrong. I'm just speaking about me and my experience. So I just told y'all how my stomach started blowing up. And if you have been following me, everyone who knows me knows that my stomach will blow up and I will look pregnant once I get sick, stressed, or eat. The sun is like super bright, so I can't even see myself recording. So it is what it is. They had the chain wrapped around me like here. So I was trying to lift it up underneath here, and then I was holding my hands in the chains like this, so that way it's not squishing my stomach. And then he was trying to put it around my ankles, and then the other guy, cop, was like, nah, she's fine. He was just like, she's a criminal. And then I was just like, no, I'm not. And the other cop was like, no, she's not. She's here for failure to appear for traffic. And then he was just like, cut her some slack. And then he just, the guy who was handcuffing me, whatever, just gonna look at me. He's like, sit down over there. And then so when the other guys come out and they're handcuffing this one guy, who's such a bitch, he gonna say, why she's not chained? And then he was just like, trust me, she's not getting away from me. Bitch, first of all, with your fat motherfucking ass, all I gotta do is put a Twinkie over there and your ass would be distracted. Don't try to act like I can't tackle you. Couldn't and wouldn't want to, but don't try to play me like she's not going anywhere. Shut your fat, ugly ass up. Anyways, so they put me in a van. This is traumatic, because now y'all putting my little baby self in a van over a traffic ticket when my brother died. And it wasn't a traffic ticket. I keep saying that. It's not even a traffic ticket. I didn't even get a ticket. So, they put me in the van, and they put me on the side of the van because it was men on the back. Being on the side of the van definitely made me feel like a psycho. Like, I understand it was protective custody because I was the only woman. However, I'm just saying, it definitely felt like on Con Air. when they had to put that thing on a man and then put him in the cage and then lock him up because he was, yeah. I did feel like I got a little hood credit by being on the side of the van because I did feel like the psycho. That was the only part that I didn't mind, was being on the psycho side. I'm just kidding. Just trying to find light in this situation. Side of the van. It was definitely bumpy. Like, I really, really, in my heart, felt like he was hitting the brakes on purpose because we kept braking. And then the guys in the back kept saying, damn, like, what they doing? So I really felt like, although I don't think he was trying to harm us, I just think that he was being careless on purpose, or he really, really couldn't drive, but he really kept hitting the brakes way too many times for me. And we was only going not even a full 6 minutes down the road. Like, I could have sung 2 songs and I was there. Like, you know what? Usher, Trey songs, and then now we're there. You know what I mean? It's just that quick. So he was doing that intentionally, but it is what it is. So we get to the court building and we have to go up the elevators. So there was the 3 or 4 guys that I was originally with, and I had my own cop, my own little bodyguard, but there was the 3 or 4 guys that I was with, and then so I'm standing behind them, and then there's a cop walking with me, and there's a cop walking with him, and then so it's time to get in the elevator, but there's some other guys from another, I don't know, another van, I don't know where they came from. I had to get in the elevator with them. As soon as I get in the elevator, damn, she fine, she's so pretty. Talking about, come stand next to me, just you know. So the black big cop who looked like Carl Winslow, he says, not on my watch, not today. You get in that corner and shut up. Townsend, come sit over here by me. He was like, Miss Townsend, come stand by me. And then I went over there, stood next to him, and he gonna lean over to me. He was like, you're gonna be all right, I got you. First of all, everybody can tell that I don't belong here, and I'm trying my hardest not to look like a fucking deer in the headlights. However, I am a deer in the headlights because I'm not supposed to be here. But whatever. We go to court, and so I go in the courtroom, and I'm the only criminal there in chains, and everybody in the courtroom is looking at me like literally, I might be, in my head, everybody looking at me. No. Everybody turns and looks at the criminals. Y'all know how we do when we see the people come in. And here I am, chained, looking like this, chained up, like, with my glasses on. Like, I'm sad, so I wasn't smiling like that, but y'all get the point. So, the prosecutor comes, and he was just all like, you have 4 failures of pure. You're supposed to be spending 9 in jail. He was like, but don't worry about it. He's like, this is a citation. He's like, I'm going to just write off as a citation. He was all like, you'll be out here in an hour. Go over there. The judges are like, Miss Townsend, do you concur? Do you agree? Are you guilty? I was like, I did whatever y'all said I did. I just want to go home. I didn't say that. I was just like, I'm guilty. And he was just like, is there anything you want to say? I said, nope. He was like, do you agree to the terms? Yep. And then he was like, all right, have a good day. $75. It's $50 for the ticket, $25 for the court fee. You motherfuckers had me in jail. Y'all had me fighting this for 4 years. My brother passed in 2019. I was supposed to be in court 2021. It's 2024. 2021 was my second date that I missed. Why? Oh, dang. That's how I look when I was recording the whole time. Oh, well. So, I have to pay $75. And it makes me mad because that $75 would have been $50. But y'all wanted me to spend 3 nights in jail over a traffic violation. I was driving underneath the suspended license, and I paid that ticket the next day. This has all been handled in 2019, but I never went to court because my brother died. So y'all want me to spend all this time in jail when I could have paid this $75 fine years ago. This is fucking asinine. There's definitely something wrong with the legal system when it comes to that. That is 100% wrong. That shouldn't be cool. And then they're like, oh, the judge. Had you seen Judge Watkins, she wouldn't have let you out. She would have made you do the time. And I'm like, that's fucking asinine. But thank you to Judge Divine for just letting me get up out of there. So when I leave, as soon as I'm done, they have somebody escort me back out and put me in a van by myself, take me back to jail. But this time I had to wait in the cell while they finished on my paperwork. I was in the cell for probably like an hour. So I'm definitely going to complain, but I'm not complaining. I'm complaining because of what I keep saying a million times. I just feel like this traumatic experience could have been avoided. However, now I just got my hood credit. I almost got a face tattoo, but my appointment was at 3 o'clock and I left by 2:30. But had I stayed till 3, I would have got a teardrop. So anyways, I am, they put me in a holding cell with the memory foam mat that is made of plastic. How do you have a plastic mat? It's not memory foam, but plastic mat that is foamy, that's not foamy, that's plastic. I definitely want to dissect how that's made, but the beds was like bunk beds, but they wasn't like bunk beds, they were like slanted, and that was kind of odd, but I don't want to know what that's for. Then I had to sit on that metal toilet. Now, I'm not sitting on the motherfucking toilet in public, let alone metal toilet. So what I always do is I will sit on my hands if there's like no way for me to squat. And I could definitely squat without a bar, but not in this mental state with the stomach pumped up. So when my stomach is enlarged, I need to hold on to something. So I just put my hands down and I just sat on my hands to pee. I should have just used the toilet paper because there was no soap. Apparently you don't need soap in prison, which was another one of my biggest fears. It's just like, how do y'all expect me to shower when there's not even hand soap? So I just wiped my hands with water, and then I just wiped my hands in the inside of my jeans and was just hoping that the germs would just get off of me. And then you can't go to jail if you have OCD or if you have a germophobia. Like, jail is just not the place for people who just have issues. And I have 100 issues, and one of them is I don't like germs and dirt and bacteria, and I like soap on my hands. Like, this is one of the weird things that I do, and I just can't be in jail with that. So I'm laying in jail, and then at this point I realized that is like, there's no way I'm going to be able to mentally stay here over the weekend. Like, I knew I was already getting out in a few hours, but it hit me like that would have been a different type of torture. And I'm just so grateful that my good energy was out there and they worked hard to get me out of jail. Even though this experience was more traumatic than the first time when I went to jail over the same thing, that one I was in and out in like 4 hours, and it was less traumatic than this. And this one I was out in less than 4 hours. It was from 12 to 3 I was out. It was like literally so fast. Everything happened so fast. I'm so grateful. I am extremely grateful to the 2 officers who really, really fought for me. One officer was like, "Are you sure you don't want to stay over the weekend? Because I was going to buy you a bottle of wine." I believe him. I believe that if I would have stayed in jail over the weekend, they probably would have gave me this fake celebrity VIP treatment because they all was talking to me. And that's another reason why I don't belong in jail, because I was there giving the officers advice on how to run their property, because I'm a property manager. And then one of the officers just started renting out his house, and he was like, this is this, that is that. And I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do, and don't forget to do that. And before I left, he was like, okay, and where did you say I can get this information? Go on so-and-so.com. You want me to write it down? No, I got you. I'm gonna put it in my phone. That's me. I'm just talking to them, and I'm just me. Everywhere I go, I'm just this ray of fucking sunshine. And even though I'm going through this traumatic experience, I'm still a ray of sunshine, and I still manage to help someone in their time of need while I'm going through all this. And that definitely triggered the weekend depression. This weekend was extremely hard. And I know there's, in my mind, my anxiety's telling me like, girl, people went through a whole lot worse, and they have. And I'm not trying to negate away from anyone's feelings and what anyone's went through. I'm just saying me. I'm a square. I'm a lame. I'm a loser. I don't do anything. There's no reason why I should have had to endure that. Especially when I am studying the rights. I wrote letters. I did the research. Like, I literally didn't make it because my brother died. But I know that there's other people who use that as an excuse. But I sent his death certificate, and, so I did everything I could. But when someone's overzealous, they're overzealous, and you're just another one. So I'm just glad that I am divinely protected, and God sent me Judge Divine to help me. So that's my jail horror story. So I made it, and I go to work tomorrow.